Hey gang, it's JC, and this is the Daily Dose for Thursday, March 3rd, 2011. A combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. Archives up there at the top of the page. Eye candy along the bottom. We're experiencing a little shower here at Roger Dean Stadium in Jupiter, Florida. It's our second day broadcasting from down here at Cardinal Spring Training. But, you know, a little, I'd rather have rain and 78 degrees than sunshine and 51 or whatever it is back in St. Louis. Not trying to get on you about the whole thing, but just letting you know. It was very interesting here this morning. You know, Tony La Russa has a little soiree for reporters.
Cardinals left fielder number 90, Aaron Luna.
Aaron Luna is batting right now. Yeah, it's a public address announcer. So anyhow, they have a little soiree with Tony here every morning at about 9:30. But right before that, all the players come out. They start doing their stretching and getting ready for the day's activities. And about 40 guys come out onto the field today. But guess what? Surprise! Somebody had left a padlock on the gate overnight, and so there's 40 guys standing there, can't get onto the field, so they're all standing around. So finally, they start coming up through the stands and down, you know, through the grandstands there, and then try to hop over a wall and out onto the field. And Cal Eldred, who in addition to being a broadcaster on Fox Sports Net, also does a lot of the spring training, sort of helping out and training guys and coaching and stuff like that. He's like, no, somebody's going to slip and fall, I'm going to get killed. So it reminded me very much of the Danny Cox incident back in the late 1980s. Danny had rented a house on the beach down in St. Petersburg before the Cardinals moved here to Jupiter, and Danny was standing out on a seawall and jumped into the ocean and came down, broke his foot, and missed a good chunk of the season. We started thinking about bizarre sports injuries on the Big 550 KTRS earlier today. We got thinking about some of the weird things like Vince Coleman getting run over by the tarp, and what else we got here? John Tudor, who of course is sitting there minding his own business during a Cards-Mets series on a Saturday afternoon, and Barry Lyons comes charging into the dugout and breaks his leg. Julian Tavares, who punched a phone down at Minute Maid Stadium in Houston, broke his hand. You got Geronimo Pena, who back in the 80s was playing second base for the Cardinals, and he goes running towards the middle, ground ball up the middle, steps on his glove, falls down, breaks his collarbone. Mike Matheny, who opens up a Christmas present and practically cuts his fingers off. Maybe it was a birthday present because it was right before the playoffs. And what else we got here? There was a team picture years ago where the guys got up on their cleats, a little slippery if you're not on, you know, some sort of grass or dirt or something like that. They get up on these risers that they had put out there so the guys could have their team picture. Guy slips, his arm shoots out as he's trying to maintain his balance, hits a guy in the mouth, breaks his teeth off. So you gotta watch out. It's dangerous out there, folks. Very, very dangerous depending on what's going on. Cal Eldred, by the way, told a funny story because out in right field, you'll see, you know, when some of these games are going to be broadcast on Fox Sports Midwest a little bit later on in the month, there's a trailer, an enclosed trailer out in right field just beyond the wall. And it's sort of like what you would see at a construction site where the architects and the foremen and stuff get to sit in a little air-conditioned thing, a little trailer, something like that. And they use it for broadcasting out here on occasion. And Cal Eldred said that when he was in, I think it was A-ball in El Paso, that the team locker room was one of those trailers. So you get things that are glamorous in the big leagues, but boy, if you're in the big leagues, it gets a little rough in those small towns. Sort of funny, a lot of retirees down here in Florida, obviously. It's Florida. And Albert strikes out yesterday, and some like 90-year-old guy yells, "Send him back to the minors." It's like, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to send what will eventually be our $30 million man back down to the minor leagues. People got a laugh out of it. Of course, it's like anything else that you find down here in Florida. I-95, which is the major north-south thoroughfare up and down the state of Florida, it's either retirees going 45 miles an hour or guys in tricked-out BMWs going like 91. And you better not be caught in the middle. It's a free-for-all out there. All right, what do we got here? Talking to Tony La Russa a little bit earlier, and he was just talking about the fact that, geez, you know, whatever you do, whatever you see down here, that one thing that he's learned over the years, never fall in love with anything that you see at spring training. It's not real. It's like a summer romance. It's not real. So some of the things that you see down here, just not worth getting bent out of shape over. What else here? Oh yeah. This was a split squad today. You got the Washington Nationals playing the Cardinals. The rain has stopped, at least for now. And the rest of the team went to Port St. Lucie. Jaime Garcia was pitching today in the split squad against the New York Mets. And I only know that at that ballpark they serve nachos and tacos in a helmet. nachos and tacos and a helmet. It's a little small helmet. Then you get stuck with a Mets mini helmet, but I'm told the food there is actually pretty good. Speaking of spring training, some things never change. This was a very, very sloppy game here today. With throwing the ball all over the place. It looked like the married men against the singles at the company picnic out here at Roger Dean Stadium today. But one thing never changes. One of these goofy Washington Nationals, bases were loaded, the guy drifted off third base, and Yachty threw a laser beam down to third and picked him off third. It was the funniest thing ever. Some things never change. I don't care how long a winter it was. When Yachty decides he wants somebody, he just goes out and he gets him. All right, what other things that we want to mention here today? We're just sort of going up and down the things worth mentioning here today. Of course, we are wrapping up here at Roger Dean Stadium for another day. Long days. I get here at 6:30 in the morning every day and leave maybe 4:30 in the afternoon, so they're long days. But like I said, it's very nice. I mentioned yesterday on the Daily Dose, those sights and the smells. You get that combination of pine tar and green grass and just a sweet spring air down here in Florida. Boy, there's just nothing like it. Hope you get a chance to come down here sometime. When you do, JJ Muggs is right across the street. Is where we're doing the show from. Food is great, service is great, servers are awesome, by the way, and you're like 100 feet from the main entrance of the ballpark, so it's a great place to come. So if you're coming down here later in the month, have your lunch over at JJ Muggs, because it's better than the $8.75 I spent here at the ballpark yesterday for a small drink and a skinny stadium steak. Not even like a good hot dog. You get a Woofie's back in St. Louis. This skinny little thing that was like the width of a pencil, almost $9. Go have your lunch at JJ Muggs. Come over here and then have a beer or something like that. Okay, we are here for another day, Friday, broadcasting live from 10 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. Of course, McGraw and his boys are here in the morning. And then we have one more show. We're going to hang out for the weekend. One more show on Monday from 10 until 1, and then we fly back to St. Louis, back in the studio next week. So we're not even halfway through our Florida trip, and I'm already thinking about coming back. That's messed up. I'm going to just sort of enjoy this a little bit, maybe take a little beach this weekend, hang out with McGraw and the boys, and see what happens. Cardinals, we'll talk more nuts and bolts baseball as we get through the weekend. Frankly, I haven't even seen a lot of the baseball game because we've been busy doing other stuff, recording stuff like this and doing the show across the street. So we are very, very busy down here in Florida. That's it. JC's Daily Dose for Thursday, March 3rd, 2011. Combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. In the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.